This is the value of wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
Is that better? Can you hear me now? Can you hear Mr. Clarke if he speaks?
Yo, listen! To this show, I don't know if you want to well, to our show, yes.
Is that better?
The show we're reviewing, I'm not sure if you want to
There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Value Wrestling. This is your Collision show for November 17, 2023. Yeah, baby. You know. Anyways, we're going to do a Collision show review. This show was, I don't know what to call it, but we'll talk about it. We'll break it down. And then right after this, we're going to take a brief break. We'll jump back on, and we'll do your SmackDown review. And then we'll get ready for the 12, 15, 20-hour pay-per-view that's coming out tomorrow called Full Gear. 3 matches on Full Gear, or on the 0 hour. Another dozen matches on the pay-per-view card itself. Plus, we got this mystery signing. Who's it going to be? Sad news hit Ring of Honor tonight in a way. Tony Khan looks like he's got some type of agreement. We'll discuss that briefly because that'll make a lot of people cry, especially if this person goes to beat goes on to beat AEW or no Ring of Honor Women's Champion.
No. She should not beat the current champion.
I think she already did. I think she already did, but not for the title. But we will talk about that.
That's what I mean, for the title.
Let's get into the introductions. Ladies and gentlemen, sitting next to me is the one, the only, this button. There it is. There it is. You know it. The buttons are a little slow. Life's a little slow. We're still trying to wake up. There we go. And you know me, I'm the one, the only, I am the BIGGTYME. Yeah, I am the big time. I am here. I'm doing my thing to the best of my ability. Let's jump into it. Let's get deep in the pile of boo-boos. This was called Collision, live from Los Angeles, the Kia Forum, where they're going to hold Full Gear. So they went ahead and shot Collision, and they followed up with Rampage, which they forced you to watch Rampage because of something they did on Collision, if you wanted to know. 3 hours of AEW TV, and nobody drank the Clorox tonight, so nobody found the bleach and started chugging that. She needs to be off my TV. She may be very well on your TV in the very near future, once again, Mr. Z. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our New Japan Pro Wrestling expert. He's there in the chat. If you're here, you can also join in the chat. Talk along with us, discuss with us, get into the thick of things as we get into the thick of things ourselves. Kia Forum, Los Angeles, California. Nigel McGuinness, Kevin Kelly, and Joni Schiavone were all on commentating tonight. Saturday night's all right for a fight, but it wasn't a Saturday night. It was a Friday night, and we opened the show with Christian Cage, Nick Wayne, and Luchasaurus coming to the ring. We talk about the the TNT champion, and then we get an announcement. Of course, this was already put out earlier, but it was announced then that we're going to have a 4-way dance, and the winner of that match we're going to have a TNT Eliminator match is what we're having. So the winner of this match will get a TNT title, and they were going to get a TNT title in about an hour, or a couple hours later on Rampage. So yeah, we picked 4 guys for no apparent reason. Brian Cage, Commander, Trent Beretta, and Penta. Brian Cage, Commander, and Penta, as I recall, all take L's on Dynamite, so I don't know why they get any recognition for a title match. Trent Beretta, you're kind of like, oh, wow, okay. Good to see they want to do something with him for a night. So,
Ooh, what a night.
we get the daddy of AEW, and I wish he was the daddy of AEW and go around and smack Tony in the background, because I think Tony needs some daddy time to get his head on straight, because the crap he's putting out is not good. So we get your normal Christian Cage. He puts over the match. He's telling that they're going to have a come to Jesus moment. He's going to break Adam Copeland's neck. He tells Beth to make sure the children are ready. I kept waiting for him to say their new daddy's coming home, but I guess Samoa Joe knew how to do that once before, and you can't repeat that. So,
oh, good Lord.
it is what it is. So, Christian says, yeah, we'll see who proves it. We'll see him on Rampage. Christian's going to be in action. Holy Toledo Batman. Isn't that crazy? Then we're backstage with the AEW Tag Team Champions, Big Bill and Ricky Starks. They're talking about their match tomorrow night on Full Gear, and now that they whine and cry to Tony Khan that it was unfair, Tony Khan said they could pick out the stipulations. So now we're getting a ladder match between these teams. So we're going to have Big Bill, Ricky Starks, the King of the Black Throne, Malachi Black, and
Brody
King versus Rush and Dralistico, and then FTR. So we're going to get these four jobbers in the ladder match that I don't know. And Big Bill tried to be cool by going back old school when he was SWAFT, but he wanted to go BTTEIHNQ, which means the best tag team ever in history. No question why they did that. I don't know. Don't care. Get the tag team titles off these guys. Bless Big Bill. More Ricky Starks on his own, I'll be okay. Hey, and then guess what? Oh, is there anything you want to add to anything I've said before I continue on? Do you want to talk about Christian? Do you want to talk about the tag team champions? Do you want to talk about all the ridiculousness we've already been hit with?
The problem is I was watching this head to head, so I had split screen between SmackDown and Collision. And when I saw Christian just gone and going on and on about the same shit over and over,
Jesus,
I paid attention more to SmackDown.
Did he not go on forever? He went on and on and on. Anyways, we finally got a wrestling match. We got Miro versus Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia, oh boy. Anyways, you knew what was going to happen here. It was a decent match. It was not a great match, but it was a decent match between these two. Miro gets the win in the end. Daniel Garcia punks out at 10 minutes, 7 seconds. Decent opener for the show. Nothing to really jump up and down about. It was what you expected. Miro putting away Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia seems to have fallen from the heavens of grace. And just a sideshow carnival dancer now. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
It was. You're not lying. But it was a better match than I expected from them.
Yeah.
I will say that much for them. You're right. It's not anything to write home about, but it was better than I expected.
Anyways, from there we got a really weird segment with Lexi Nair, CJ Perry, and Andrade. CJ Perry, I don't know what they're doing with her. I mean, at least can they not at least make her look a little? I mean, the outfit she was wearing tonight was just as bad as the one that she was wearing the other night. It was just like plain. I'm like, I don't feel anything here. She was also in the background behind Lexi Nair and Andrade, so she was standing behind both of them. So it felt like she was just kind of backstage garment. She announces that Andrade is going to be in the Continental Classic, and Andrade seems to kind of get upset about that, and then they talk back and forth, and she says you need to trust her, and yeah, they're cool with this, but this was a really weird segment that didn't help anything, did not make Andrade look better, kind of made CJ Perry look, nah, I don't know, they have talent here, but I don't think they're doing anything to make CJ Perry look impressive.
Standing behind Andrade is one thing. I mean, he's the manager role, okay. Standing behind Lexi Nair, the interviewer, you're like, what?
She was like behind both of them. They were like shoulder to shoulder, and she was just kind of like, hi, I'm here. And then she wasn't wearing anything flattery that we've seen Lana wear. I know that she's not Lana anymore. She's CJ Perry, but I'm like, I'm not asking for diva-esque looks. Like, no, it's not about having the diva to, I'm not talking about Sable or Sunny looks, but even if she kind of could feel like Miss Elizabeth felt empowered and important as a woman manager without being, eye candy or over the top. Like, she looked impressive. I wish they would do this with CJ Perry. She can be like the modern day Miss Elizabeth, but it's like, to me, it's just kind of like plain. Like, they're not even trying to give her outfits that make her stand out or make her feel like she's of significant importance. She just feels like, I mean, I'm sorry, I think Lexi Nair's outfit outshines CJ Perry, and that's where you get things going wrong. I just saying. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
At least her outfit was better than last week.
Slightly. Like, slightly.
I don't know. I think just about everything is better than that oversized jacket last week. So.
Well, yeah, this is true, but I mean, it just, I don't know. It was blue plaid. She just didn't feel important in her role here. And I'm like, she should feel important.
You're right. She should be going for a glamour look. She doesn't necessarily have to be, like you said, it doesn't have to be diva, doesn't have to be super sexy. But she should be going for the glamour look, in my opinion.
Yes. Yes, Miguel, Big Bill is the SAWFT Swaft, and he has not been of any importance since he had a little buddy called Enzo, and that's just a fact, whether you like it or not. Anyways, in the squash match from there, we had the Kings of the Black Throne, Brody King and Malachi Black, beat up on the boys. They didn't even let Dalton Castle come out for this. This was a squash, 2 minutes, 8 seconds. I don't know what to tell you. The Kings of the Black Throne win this. Why they needed to wrestle on the show, I don't know. They're going into a ladder match tomorrow night. This thing's going to be god-awful. I'm scared of it. You're talking FTR is probably going to make it somewhat good, but you're going to have Big Bill and Ricky Starks in there that I don't know if they know how to. And they're going to have Malachi Black and Brody King who are probably just going to beat the snot out of everybody with ladders. And then you have Roosh and Tralistico who are going to fly off every ladder. And I'm sure there's probably a 20 or 30-foot ladder that's going to wind up in the ring in AEW. So. Anyways, the Kings of the Black Throne win a squash match against the boys. No Dalton, just the boys. Why they even needed to put the boys on TV for this, I don't even know.
Random busy work. That's all it was. Just to remind you that they're still wrestlers, I guess. And I'm talking about Kings of the Black Throne, not the boys.
Yeah, the boys were not wrestlers tonight. They were human lawn darts. That's what they were.
Jesus.
So anyways, after that, we got a video package about hyping the triple threat match between Julia Hart, Sky Blue, and Chris Statlander for the TBS Championship. Even though after you get done watching Collision Night and after you get done doing Rampage, you're going to have like a 30-minute show telling you about all the matches. So, we're wasting time on TV for this crap. Then we got the three-way match for the number one contender. So the winner of this match gets a TNT Championship on Rampage tonight. So it was like an hour, yeah. And it was the opening match of Rampage is what that turned out to be, which was just, yeah. Anyway, so you had Trent Beretta versus Brian Cage versus Commander versus Penta El Zero Miro. Winner of this match gets, it was what you expect out of this match. There was a lot of high points, a lot of flippy flops. There was a lot of good moments between Penta and Commander. They've been teaming up since Phoenix has been out. So you got a couple of tag team moves, and they, turn on one another. There was, kicks and 619s and this jump and that jump. It was a good, solid match for what it was. Eventually, Trent Beretta, out of all of them, picks up the 1, 2, 3 at 10 minutes, 33 seconds with a crunchy on Commander. He ends with a crunchy, and he wins a title shot at Christian. And you're like, ooh, that's awesome. Trent Beretta gets to feel special for about an hour, and then he's going to be fed to Christian. So you're like, okay, I don't know if I should be excited about this. I guess he was the best pick out of everybody else in this match. I was kind of worried they were going to give it to Commander, and then I was like,
See, I had a different thought. I thought they were going to give it to Penta.
No, I couldn't see him giving it to Penta. I was more afraid it was going to be Commander because they're high on Commander, or it was going to be Brian Cage because Brian Cage took the L in the match on Dynamite. So
they didn't give it Brian Cage anything except for the ROH 6-man tag title.
The miniature version of Brock Lesnar wannabe. I know. Of course, he could be more impressive if he was used right. Tell me when I'm telling lies. I know we're going through this fast, people. I apologize if you feel we're rushing through this, but I mean, this was not a good show. This, I fought to stay asleep through this because it was just like jury. It was abysmal. I don't know how Mr. Clarke watched both. Well, I guess you got to watch both, so you just kind of glanced over and said, okay, I can at least watch SmackDown and tune into that more and be focused on that than being drowned in the garbage pile that was Collision.
The thing is, it did help to have, it made Rampage a little more enjoyable since I wasn't watching two shows at the same time. I could at least enjoy it for what it is and not, But when you're comparing the two, watching it side by side, you're like, holy shit. SmackDown is just that much better. Tony Khan messed up by going up against a main roster show. That's all I can say about that.
Anyways, we have Lexi standing with Don Callis and Powerhouse Hobbs. They talk about him slamming Paul White onto the car, or the 450-pound giant. That it was brutality. He took out a living legend. Hobbs is, of course, big, black, and jacked, and you can get it. He tells White to stay away, or Paul White's going to get it again. They seem to want to help Hobbs, but then they let him talk, and he says this shit. You're just kind of like, yeah, don't speak. You know, let me take you back to 1990, and take you back to a album called Spiderwebs, and a song called "Don't Speak" from No Doubt.
Although I think you're a few years off, but yes, it was early 90s. No, close to the mid 90s.
I said take you back to the 90s.
Oh, I thought you said 1990. My bad.
No, I said take you back to the 90s. Anyways, then we had another match. Well, no, we didn't even have a match. Wardlow. Yeah, Mr. Mayhem now. I guess he came out of the Sons of Anarchy. I missed him on the 7 seasons of Sons of Anarchy.
They did call him Mr. Mayhem for a bit, earlier in his AEW career. It just never really caught on with the rest of us.
Well, he's Mr. Mayhem, and I guess, again, he came out of Sons of Anarchy. I watched all 7 seasons probably 10,000 times now. Even Mr. Clarke watched it because I got him into it because I love that show. That's where Mr. Mayhem lives, and it's just for me. I don't see Wardlow as Mr. Mayhem. He's just Wardlow, and he's a joke. He came out and squashed some random fool. 3 or 4 power bombs. He decided to do like a Brock Lesnar and be a big guy that flies off the top rope. Luckily, he hit the Swanton bomb and not his head. And then he pulled off his best Undertaker impression by hitting a last ride. And then he was going to pick up the guy again, but the ref called the match at 53 seconds. And then Wardlow just walks out of the ring, and we're just like, yay. He's getting no chance. He's getting nothing. People are just like, I don't know what to do with this. Wardlow looks like crap. It feels like crap. He doesn't feel significant. Doesn't feel important. Having somebody come out and squash people like this is great if you have the build behind the guy. But you built Wardlow, and then you dropped the ball, and you killed it. And trying to repeat that build is never going to work. It's not going to happen. Nobody's getting into it. We don't know what he is either. Like, people don't know if we should cheer for him or boo him. He's just stupid. He needs to go away. He needed to do something completely different. He shouldn't even be feuding with MJF. He has no reason to be feuding with MJF. They ended their feud a long time ago. He got his upcomings on MJF, and that's it. MJF is not the reason he went off of TV for so long. So it's stupid. Why is he not pissed at Joe? It's garbage. I'm tired of Wardlow. Wardlow needs to get out of AEW, go to WWE, where I think he might have a chance to be something in the world of professional wrestling, or he could go to TNA. Don't care. Wardlow and what Tony Khan's doing with him is complete garbage, and Tony Khan, you suck with big guys. Period. Mr. Clarke.
I can't defend a thing when it comes to Wardlow. And the sad part is there was a time when he was really hot.
Oh, yeah, he was
and
great.
Now it's just like, I don't understand the thinking behind the repeat of his build.
Yeah.
I don't understand why Tony Khan can't see it's not working and not change directions. That's what Smart Booker does. Even if you're married to your idea, if you see that it's not working, you change directions. And he's not doing that. I don't understand.
No.
Does not compute to me whatsoever.
No. We thank you for joining us here on this Value of Wrestling Collision review. We are running through this Collision review. Once we get this done, we'll take a short break. We'll be back with a SmackDown review. So if you're waiting for that, make sure you stay tuned. And if you're here in the chat, feel free to jump in the chat. Say your 2 cents. You can agree or disagree. We are just calling it like we see it. But Wardlow is trash to me. It's just, nah. I'm glad the matches are short because I don't think I could stand much more of it. Anyways, we have Ricky Starks and Big Bill making their way down to the ring. They're coming out to the music and the whole 9 yards, and they're going to be on commentary because we have Dax Harwood, or Dax the Axe. Why we're calling him Dax the Axe? He's Dax Harwood. I don't need all the gimmick crap with FTR. They're FTR. They are just the best tag team in professional wrestling. They bring back the old school professional wrestling, and that's all I need. If they're going to be on one-on-one matches, it's fine. I don't need this special Dax the Axe. Anyways, Dax the Axe came out with Cash Wheeler, and then he was taking on Roosh, who came out with the rest of LFI. Roosh kicked away the handshake at the beginning, and we got a good solid match. It's exactly what you would expect between Roosh and Dax Harwood here. A solid back and forth. Roosh back to the ring, goes for the bullhorns, but no, Stark spears him, and we have a no contest. So you had a good match, and then you threw it out the window because then every tag team for this match came running down. That you're building towards your pay-per-view tomorrow night, but yeah, this ended at 14 minutes and 4 seconds, and the match got thrown out because Ricky Starks came in. What was a good match was ruined by all this other crap because you had Starks jump in, and then Big Bill, and then Brody King, and Malachi Black, and then Listico, and everybody else came down the ring, and it was just a shit show that definitely did not make any sense. Didn't really add purpose. I mean, I get you're trying to build for your match tomorrow night, but this really didn't do anything for anything.
Even if they were going to have the run-ins and the fight afterwards, they could have had a clear winner just to, so it didn't feel like we wasted 14 minutes and 4 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, again, we understand building to the pay-per-view, great. But sometimes wins and losses do actually matter even to the audience.
Well, this didn't even build. This was just like a chaos theory of just like, ooh, we just need to get everybody on TV real quick so it feels important. And it didn't feel important. It felt stupid.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we were backstage again for the 1800th time tonight with Lexi Nair, and she's talking to Action Andretti because he's friends with Darius Martin. Darius Martin got beat up by Roderick Strong in the Kingdom last week. He's here to give a review, but here come the Kingdom and Roderick Strong, and they have an update on Darius, and Strong says he's found his next victim. And he goes, instead of going, Adam, he goes, Action! Why? I want to shoot Roderick Strong, just really. I want to put him out of his misery because he's driving me nuts. From there, we got the only match. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I can't fault you there. Short and to the sweet and to the point.
Not really, but, you know what I mean if you know what I mean. Anyways, the match of the night was probably this one, Buddy Matthews versus Wheeler Yuta. Wheeler Yuta. Why do you have that backwards? Why is it Yuta Wheeler? It's Wheeler Yuta, right? I'm not crazy, right?
Yes. No, okay. You're not crazy.
They wrote it backwards. Okay. Anyways, we had a good solid match, Buddy, and Yuta went back and forth several different times, different pins, different maneuvers. This was a good solid match, which you expect out of these two guys. Buddy gets a running powerbomb for 2 and then a stomp and a 1-2-3 at 13 minutes 40 seconds. Shockingly, surprisingly, in all of this, Buddy Matthews picks up a win over Wheeler Yuta, and the match was great, and then you got totally disappointed again because you're like, oh, Buddy Matthews got a win. Awesome. Didn't have to mean anything. He got a win. They had a good match. No. You know what it had to mean? It had to mean Claudio Castagnoli had to come out, get pissed off, and now he's going to take on Buddy Matthews at Full Gear. So now we have Buddy Matthews versus Claudio Castagnoli match that's going to happen. And then it comes out that it's going to be on Full Gear, but not only is it going to be on Full Gear, it's going to be on the 0 Hour along with the tag team match for the tag team titles. And then there's another match. I forget what the other match is on 0 Hour now. There's 3 matches on 0 Hour.
We'll get to it eventually.
I forget if that was on Rampage or this show, anyways. We get a video package of Orange Cassidy and Jon Moxley, like we know what's going on there, yay. And then we got the main event of the night for at least Collision. Ruby Soho teaming up with Saraya versus Hikaru Shida and the TBS champion Chris Statlander, Shida being the AEW Women's Champion. It was a decent match. Soho has her side story with, what's his name?
Angelo Parker.
Yeah, Angelo Parker, since they're calling him Angelo Parker again. I guess Angelo Parker it's been smitten by Ruby Soho, and they had a moment outside the ring. Yay, hoo-ha. It was a good, solid match. It lasted 10:34. Shida gets the win for her team after a katana to Saraya. You can't really care about Soho or Saraya anymore because they pretty much washed them down. Saraya hasn't been important since her big moment at All In. And then she lost the title to Shida, but doesn't really get any comeuppings here. Soho has just kind of been a side note. Toni Storm's overshined both of them now since she's left the Outcast. And you really don't, you see the names and you're like, why do I care about them facing the women's, they don't even have anything to do with the women. Why was I not getting like a Julia Hart teaming up or a Sky Blue teaming up with Toni Storm or something in here that would have been a little more interesting than just two people who have nothing to do with either of these titles. Soho and Saraya were just like sitting back in the back, I guess, I don't know, flirting or eating too much. I don't know what they did for Tony to go, oh, I need you guys to go get in the ring because,
Well, I'm paying you a lot of money, so you have to do something, I guess. Any kind of busy work.
I don't know. We haven't seen him on TV for, I don't know the last time we've really seen him on TV. And this match didn't interest me when they booked it. It was just kind of like, okay, the women's champions have to win this match, so Saray and Soho are going to eat a pin, and yay.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts on the match, sir?
Again, I was paying more attention to SmackDown because as much as I should have enjoyed this match, I like all four competitors. It was too predictable. Like you said, neither of them had anything to do with either one of the titles. You know, if Tony Khan was a smarter booker, maybe the Outcast would have gone over. So at least they could have said, "Hey, we each have a win over y'all." So that's something up down the line after Full Gear. But no, nothing. Just busy work.
Yep. So after this, we got the sit-down interview with Tony Schiavone that they advertised all night with MJF. MJF had more sit-down interviews than I know tonight, because then they had an interview segment for a Rampage, who knows, and then they were going to do something on the countdown. So we got MJF doing his promo here. Nothing really came out of that, and that was your Collision. Yeah, that was your Collision.
Well, at one point he got his title back, only for the Bang Bang Gang to take it back.
Well, that happened on Rampage. Yeah, that all happened on Rampage.
Sorry for the spoilers. My bad.
How do I get over there? Can I find Rampage?
I already had that up on my other tab.
Let's get in here real quick. Yeah, because then Rampage, you had the opening match was Christian Cage versus Trent Beretta. And as soon as I can pull it up, it was a decent match. I mean, they at least made Beretta feel important to an extent. There we go. Here's the Rampage review. So we had the TNT title on the line. Christian Cage defending against Trent Beretta. A good solid match here for both what they got. We eventually got the kill switch. It was a 10-minute match. Christian Cage, it was your average match. At least Trent Beretta got some maneuvers in here. Trent Beretta looked like a threat to Cage for a moment there. But in the end, Christian Cage wins. And it was what it was. Oh, Chris Jericho was also in commentary, so we got a lot of arguing there. But anyways, you were going to say Christian Cage and Trent Beretta.
If you follow Trent Beretta's career, you expected a good match if they gave him the time. And 10 minutes is okay time for TV. So I mean, you expected Christian Cage to come out with a win, but the fact that Trent Beretta at least got a little bit of a showcase was kind of nice, got some offense, etc. But like you said, it's still what you expected it to be.
Yep. We got Jericho in commentary. He gets up and talks about how the Golden Jets are going to beat the Young Bucks. They're going to take that number 1 title match. Yada, yada, yada. Jericho was out in commentary for Rampage. Our second match, we got a warm-up match, as Timeless Tony Storm said, against Emmy here. 7-minute match. It was an okay match. I'm not impressed with the ring gear of Tony Storm tonight. Like, she didn't even feel like, I don't know. It just wasn't important. This match was just kind of a waste of life. Tony Storm wins. I can't really give you good or bad. It just was what it was.
They really tried to hype about how Tony Storm was facing the trainer of Hikaru Shida, who is Emi Sakura. And again, it was so predictable. Like, who cares? There was nothing on commentary that they could say to make this match really that interesting.
And I guess I got the stupid moment now that when Tony Storm goes for her finisher, they black and whiten the screen for a moment, or was that an error? I don't know. It went black and white for a minute, and I was kind of like, oh, okay, cool. I didn't like Tony Storm's outfit. I'm just like, it doesn't fit this, it didn't feel like an old burlesque or old Hollywood or anything. It just kind of felt like weird. I hope they have something better for tomorrow night.
Basically, it's the same, the same gear she's had for a while, just different patterns. Instead of wearing just straight black, she had whatever that pattern was.
Yeah, it was weird. She's a different character. I expected something different. Then we got the shit of the night. This was crap. Renee Paquette was backstage with Jeff Jarrett and Eddie Kingston. And guess what? Now the Ring of Honor World Championship is on the line. Also at Full Gear. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It's not even on the main card. It's going to be on 0 Hour. So you're going to have Claudio Castagnoli versus Buddy Matthews on 0 Hour. You're going to have MJF and a mystery partner team up against the Guns for the Ring of Honor tag team titles, and now the Ring of Honor champion, world champion, Eddie Kingston will defend his title against Jay Lethal on 0 Hour with Team Jarrett. This was a waste of life, waste of time. Kingston's way better than this. I don't get why the Ring of Honor title is being treated like this. I don't know why Eddie Kingston, who's probably one of the best workers in this company, one of the best men on the mic, gets undercredited. He's carrying 2 belts, and you put him on the 0 Hour show. And you put him on the last day at the last minute on a show that probably everybody tuned out because they're already tired of watching this stupid crap. And then he turns around and bumps into Ortiz. As Eddie Kingston's going to leave, he turns around and bumps into Ortiz. So who knows what that's all about. Are we going to get Ortiz and Mike Santana out there with Kingston to help them fight off Jeff Jarrett and the goons of stupid wrestling? This pissed me off.
I understand completely. Like I had said, off air. Why is this not at Final Battle? Why is this at 0 Hour of an AEW show? 0 Hour, the top champion of a promotion.
Because Tony,
like, this isn't one of their partnership championships. This isn't an NJPW championship. This isn't something from AAA or CMLL. This is a title that Tony Khan owned. You should be treating it with respect.
Tony Khan,
respect he allegedly had for it, for the promotion.
Tony Khan does not care about Ring of Honor, and that's what I'm going to tell you, people. He doesn't care about Ring of Honor. He bought it to make some of the wrestlers there that were in his company happy, so he could buy that catalog and have some extra stuff to do. I think you might have wanted to think he was going to make it a NXT or whatever you want to call it, a developmental territory, but he doesn't care. He doesn't do anything to really make it feel important. He makes pay-per-views, and he slightly books it, and unless you're really tuned into it, know where to connect to it, and then maybe you are, but if you're a diehard Ring of Honor fan, congratulations, you're watching that. But the stars are over there being treated like shit, and then you have their titles on AEW TV, and they don't have any significant importance. You got this crap going. Tony Khan does not care about Ring of Honor. If he cared about Ring of Honor, he'd be doing his due diligence to make Ring of Honor feel what Ring of Honor was meant to be. He bought it just because he wanted to buy the tape library, because the other wrestlers in that company didn't want it to go to WWE. And that's all it's about. Tony Khan does not care about Ring of Honor, and he's showing you that very much. He had an offer from CW to put it on there, but he's like, no, I want to make sure AEW TV negotiations are done first. You had an option to put Ring of Honor on CW Network. He could have gotten TV time for Ring of Honor and done something with it, made it feel somewhat more important, but he was more worried about AEW. I'm telling you, he doesn't care about Ring of Honor. It's it. You might as well just close Ring of Honor, close it down, get rid of the belts, call it a day. And I'm sorry, I know there's true Ring of Honor fans out there. I'm not trying to be like mean about it or piss you off over there if you're a Ring of Honor fan, and I understand why you are. But Tony Khan doesn't care, and he's not going to do anything with it, and it's just a shit show. And why keep it alive if it's never going to be what you think it's going to be? Because I know Ring of Honor fans think, oh, Tony Khan's going to bring back what Ring of Honor used to be. Never is. Might as well just close it down, create a development territory out of what you got left, and be done with it. And get rid of all the excess titles that you don't really seem to be treating properly.
See, there was a time I would have debated you on that. But watching what Tony Khan has done with Ring of Honor and all this time, watching what he's doing with his main product of AEW, I'm like, damn, I have to side with you, boy. Bruh, I have to side with you on this.
I mean, he has Eddie Kingston as Ring of Honor World Champion, and look where he's putting him on. 0 Hour. Not even on the main card. So, I mean, I am at this point blank. And it's Jay Lethal. And these are two guys that are like, this should be a badass match. This should be a 10-20 minute match. This needs to be a match where it needs to get its attention and its time. And I definitely agree. If you're having a Ring of Honor pay-per-view, this should be your main event. Between these two guys, this could main event any Dynamite, any Rampage, any Collision show. These two together could basically run any decent pay-per-view. I don't know if it could, carry I don't know if it'd be a WrestleMania-esque pay-per-view main event match, but, these are two main event guys who deserve way better than 0 Hour, booked on the last hour of wrestling. This was booked at halfway through Rampage. So this is the last match that was booked for tomorrow, and it's being thrown on 0 Hour. So why even book the match in the first place? It's like, oh, wait, I have a Ring of Honor title that I can throw on there. Let's just add matches to the show. 20 free fucking matches on the 12-hour card now. No, it's free on TV. Oh, yeah, it's free on TV. You get more buys yeah. It's not even free on TV, though. It's only on YouTube. Or wherever you watch. If you buy into wherever else, it won't be, the 0 Hour won't be on TV.
On traditional TV.
Yes.
Either you order the pay-per-view and you get
0 hour, or you
or
watch
if
it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Hey Miguel, you want to go for a drive tonight? We could hit the key of form and we could crash the scrum and ask Tony Khan the real questions. Anyways, then we got to another match. We got Next Strong. Yes, we got Adam Roddick Strong versus Action Andretti. This match was blah. You had a moment there where they did a beautiful Spanish fly, but then they were worried about Roddick Strong's neck, and then it came back, and blah, 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 bull crap, and Roddick Strong wins. Why is Roddick Strong getting more TV time and attention than some of the other wrestlers on this card? Hell, I don't know. Roddick Strong's more of a priority than Eddie Kingston. How's that make you feel?
I mean, if it was booked well, that'd be one thing, but it's not.
Anyways, we are with Renee, and she's doing an interview with Jay White, but here comes MJF, and this is where all hell breaks down. MJF attacks Jay White. They go all over the place. I thought maybe the devil would show up at this. Oh, yes, Miguel, I know. I wish we could. If I could, it would be one thing, but it's a different story. Anyways, MJF goes after Jay White. He eventually winds up getting attacked by Juice Robinson. He takes Juice Robinson into a locker. He beats the shit out of him with the TV, I guess. Eventually gets out to the ring. MJF gets his title back, but then here comes the Guns. MJF holding on to the title for dear life. Eventually they strip it back from him, beat him down. Eventually, finally, Samoa Joe comes down and helps save MJF. And MJF and Samoa Joe shake hands, and so now we know that MJF is going to team up with Samoa Joe. So your 0 hour is featuring your Ring of Honor World Champion, Eddie Kingston versus Jay Lethal. You have Claudio Castagnoli, your former Ring of Honor World Champion, versus Buddy Matthews. And then you have your AEW World Champion, your Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion, MJF, teaming up with Samoa Joe to go against the Guns on 0 hour. Which show's more important? The one that you're going to give away for free or your pay-per-view?
It's not like they're going to get TV ratings out of this.
No, it's on YouTube, so I don't even know where they're going to get ratings for ratings.
Exactly.
This was a crap show. This was just horrible for your go-home show. We thought Dynamite was a bad go-home show. This was just a crap shoot of 3 hours of wrestling that Tony Khan didn't even seem to know what he was doing. He was throwing matches together, and then he added matches to a card that was already overloaded that didn't even necessarily need to be. Eddie Kingston and Jay Lethal did not need to have this match on 0 hour. Claudio Castagnoli and Buddy Matthews don't need to be on 0 hour. Don't even need to be on Full Gear. That could have been big booked for your next Dynamite or Collision. Didn't book any matches for next week. Just booked everything for the pay-per-view. Like, I know he hasn't sold out the key of form, supposedly. I don't know what pay-per-view buy rates are, but again, the matches that he booked pretty much tonight are all matches that are going to be on the 0 hours, so you're not even looking at getting people to buy the show. You're making sure people are turning into 0 hours, so what's going to happen on 0 hour? Also, in bad freaking news with AEW and Ring of Honor, and why Ring of Honor probably should shut their doors. Tonight, Ring of Honor tapings happen, and spoiler, if you haven't known, we had a tag team match between Athena and Billy Starks versus Mir Shafir, and Ronda Rousey was on Ring of Honor TV and is on Ring of Honor tonight in this match. This is a rematch from their last night's Revolver match between these four women.
Revolver.
Yeah, Wrestling Revolver had this match, and now they had the rematch tonight on Ring of Honor TV. Ronda Rousey was backstage in Collision. She was there for Rampage. And I would assume a lot of people believe she may be this mystery signing that Tony Khan's talking about. But again, I don't know if it's already been spoiled that she's there. I don't know if that's the person. There's a couple of people coming out and saying that there's a new report that it is Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay signed with the Blessing of New Japan Pro Wrestling. His contract's not up until February. It doesn't look like he's bought out of his contract, but it looks like he may sign his agreement with Tony Khan tomorrow night. Other people are saying it is not Will Ospreay. Sean Ross Sapp has came out and said no. Directly from the people he's talked to, no. There's other people saying that from people they talked to. I know somebody, one of the other internet podcasters said somebody else, I forget the guy's name, said that his connections told him, yes, it's going to be Will Ospreay. Sean Ross Sapp has been saying, no, it's not Will Ospreay. he's been told by certain people it's not Will Ospreay. If it's Ronda Rousey, I'm going to laugh because that will just be hilarious if Tony Khan decides to sign Ronda Rousey. If it's Will Ospreay, congratulations. I guess we know where Will Ospreay is going to go from here forward. If it's somebody else of the dubious names that have been mentioned over time, Sami Callihan, we know he's still out there. Mercedes Moné has been ousted as not being the one that's going to be there. Will Ospreay is supposed to be out of country as far as I know, so who knows? Mercedes Moné is not. She's in agreement, but she's still in the cast, I guess. There's something that, they're holding her off from what everybody's saying. So her time is down the line future. It's none of the guys from WWE because they're under 90-day non-compete clause, so get that out of your head. If it's Shane McMahon, there you go. We know have a McMahon at AEW, and that would be, I don't know why Tony Khan would sell it the way he did, but he did win the Best in the World Cup series at WWE a while ago, so I guess maybe. I don't know. I have to assume from what Tony Khan's telling, he better hopes he delivers Will Ospreay. If it's anybody else, I think it's going to be a huge letdown and disappointment. This has been Collision. This has been your Rampage review. Mr. Clarke, do you have anything else you want to add 2 cents to everything we've talked about?
Not a bloody thing, but I do want to say I am very proud of us. Even with 3 hours worth of crap wrestling, we still made roughly about 40-something minutes of content.
Yeah, I know. So. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for joining us, and thank you for joining us for your AEW Collision review. Now, stand by. We are going to be right back with the other 2 hours of wrestling that we watched tonight. We're going to bring your WWE SmackDown review here in just a few minutes. Give us the time to close this one out, get reset, do a couple things, and then we'll come right back on, and we will air that program for you. We'll break down everything that went down on SmackDown. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do a SmackDown review, but let us get out of here for right now. Oh, why is that not doing anything? Awesome job, fellas. Thank you very much, Mr. Z. I'm going to switch out of here to this real quick. We thank you for joining us. We'll be back shortly with the SmackDown review.